everyone, and welcome to Bourbon Bytes Whiskey Reviews with a gaming twist. Tonight, we are not doing bourbon, but instead we are doing an intro to Scotch. So if many of you out there, like me, may be more familiar with bourbon, tonight's all about getting familiar with the 6 different regions of Scotland. I don't know why I said it like that, Scotland. But we'll be drinking 6 different whiskeys, all from each one from a different region. Talking a little bit about the differences between them. Some of these I'm not super familiar with, so it'll be learning experience for me as well. If you're watching the replay, welcome. I'm going to put the links in the description or in the, you can jump around to the different regions. But we're going to be going all the way through them live tonight. So this is actually thanks to my friend Vadim, who put together, well, he didn't put it together, but he puts together a tasting group called the Virtual Tasting Society. So they put together this awesome box set of an intro to Scotch. Now, I actually think he got this from a client. So normally their box sets aren't this fancy. He did tell me to warn you guys, it's not going to always be this fancy, but look at this. You got a map of the different regions, all 6 that we're going to be trying today. It comes with all 6 samples, and it also comes with little vials of barley. So we got barley, we got malted barley, we got peated barley, we got the whole setup. So it truly is an intro to Scotch. Now, the reason I'm telling you about this is because I'm going to be giving away a second set of these tonight. So if you are intrigued and you want to get more into the world of Scotch and you want a entry set to your very own Scotch whiskey regions, every $5 super chat that comes in tonight gets you an entry to win this really cool kit. But even if you don't win and you want to attend some virtual tasting society tastings that they put on, you can go to virtualtastingsociety.com and that'll redirect you to their page over on Eventbrite. You could be anywhere in the United States. They will send you samples. They have master distillers on. They have distillery reps. They do mostly Scotch, but they occasionally do some bourbon, some rye. They have some really fantastic guests on that. So if you are interested, maybe you don't have a local whiskey group or you're not yet comfortable, going out in person and doing in-person tastings, then you can check out virtualtastingsociety.com and sign up there. For each, you just follow the Eventbrite page and you'll be notified every time they do a new event. And you can buy your tickets. It's very, very affordable. They do an awesome job with pricing. I've attended quite a few of them. So this kit is, of course, courtesy of them. But if you want to win your own tonight, like I said, every $5 super chat is a chance to win your own virtual or Scotch whiskey region sample kit. So I'm going to go and put that banner up here just so you guys can keep up with that in case you're curious. But yeah, so we're going to work our way through all 6 of these. Some of these I'm familiar with. Some of them I'm completely unfamiliar with. But I do have some info, like I said, about each region. I have some info about each of these whiskeys, and it should be a good time. So thank you all for tuning in. If you're excited to learn a bit more about Scotch like I am, hit the thumbs up button down below. Or even if you do know a lot about the different regions, we do have some really cool pours here that I have not tried before. So make sure to stick around, because you might learn something, even if you are a Scotch person. So, but the fun thing is, this kit not only includes, like I said, these little vials of barley, which I've never actually held a barley seed. I guess they're seeds. Never really held one, but hold it right here in your hand. You can smell it. So this is just the regular barley. Of course, most Scotch is made from barley. Let me also preface this by saying I'm not a Scotch expert. I'm a bourbon guy. I'm a bourbon guy that's been Scotch curious, and I've been learning quite a bit, mostly along with you guys. So hopefully, if I make some mistakes, you guys will chime in the chat and help me out. But I do have a bit of research I did for this before the stream. It is a grain. Thank you, guys. Although it does say barley seed, so I guess it's also a seed. But grain seed, same thing. So these are just the barley seeds. Like I said, we have that. We also have malted barley, which is usually, the process done that lets them sprout just a little bit. I will say the malted barley does have a more unique smell. It's more pungent, I would say. It's a little more earthy, a little bit like cereal. And then lastly, we have a peated malted barley. So this one, if y'all know peated whiskey, it's smoky. Oh yeah, that smells like peat. That's really cool. So I'll revisit these actual grains as we go through once we hit the whiskeys that are peated. But we're going to start lighter. We're going to start approachable. Most of these whiskeys, I think they did an excellent job as picking some very approachable, not necessarily entry level. Some of these are pretty pricey too. So I put the full list down in the description below, but I'll bring them up on the screen as we go. So before we dive into that, can anyone name? I feel like I'm teaching a class. Can anyone name the 6 regions of Scotland? Let's see who can get them all 6 first in the chat. Yes, there are 6. There are 2 that are often forgotten about. Let me know if you know all 6. Now, no cheating. I know you may look at the description, but if anyone who can name all 6 regions of Scotland. Sugar Kitty says Scotchity, Scotch. It's tasty. Well, that is very true. So, Sugar Kitty, you are in for the giveaway. Thank you so much, my friend. Also, I want to give a couple shout outs to people here in the chat. I saw Lil and Zopher. Lil and Zopher were hanging out with me over on Twitch. We were doing Fall Guys earlier. I was doing okay for a while, but I started sucking really bad. If you guys want to see more gaming stuff, make sure to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Bourbon Bytes. Give me a follow there. You'll be notified every time I do a gaming stream. Scott Pigsley was there as well. Good to see you, Scott. Thanks for coming back over. Wesley Zeller, what's up, Wesley? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. I know Donnie is having some power outages in his area, so he's actually tuning in live from an undisclosed location, which he also disclosed later on was at a hotel. Donnie, I hope power comes back. Hopefully you have a way to keep track on when it comes back on, maybe like a Nest or something that gets you notified. But that does suck. At least you have a hotel nearby that you can go to. Sugar Kitty, of course, is in the house. Brandon, our amazing mod here, along with Donnie. Evening, everyone. Cheers to you, Brandon. Good to see you. I know you're not the biggest Scotch fan either, but I think you're coming around. You're coming around. James Taylor in the house. What's up, James? Good to see you. James is a Bite Club member. So is Sugar Kitty. That's my YouTube membership. If you guys want to support the channel for $2 a month, you get access to cool Cliffy emojis. I haven't asked for those in a while. Send y'all's Cliffy emojis in the chat now. I love seeing them. Let's see who else is here. Cohen is in the house. He said, "Did you get the Ben Romick lightly peated triple distilled 100 proof admission today?" Oh, you know what? I saw that in their newsletter. I did not get that one. I don't know much about that distillery. Was that a missed opportunity right there? Yes, Emily says hit the like button to feed those algorithms. Like I said, even if you guys are new to Scotch or you are absolute experts at Scotch, it should still be a fun stream. There's some really interesting ones. And plus, you might be curious to see my reactions because I'm mostly a bourbon drinker. I have been dabbling in Scotch for the past couple of years, but some of these I've never had anything from these distilleries, so I'm very excited to get into them. So Emily, oh yeah, I see. Okay, there. Oh yeah, I highlighted a message, but I didn't say hi. Hi, Emily. Thank you for being an amazing mod and supporting the channel here. Who is Pete, and how does he smell so smoky? Well, we will find out tonight. Sugar Kitty. Adam Free in the house. What's Adam? What's Adam? What's free, Adam? Just kidding. Good to see you, Adam. Thanks for tuning in. Independent Joe in the house already dropping some links. Holy crap, Joe. Joe did an awesome job moderating a giveaway / charity fundraiser last night on Women of Whiskeys. They raised over $6,000 for it's an organization that helps impoverished children or like children in the foster care system. Check that out. Women of Whiskeys. It was such a fun stream. They gave away some awesome prizes, and Joe was on top of it all. So thank you so much, Joe, for dropping my Patreon link. Yes, if you do want to support the show and get access to things like our after party hangout, which will happen right after this stream, you can join patreon.com/Bourbon Bytes. You can join for as little as $2 a month, but to get access to our after party, it's $10 a month. We have a ton of fun with that. So looking forward to tonight's after party for sure. Chris in the house, some Compass Box Lost Blend for me. Oh, nice. Lost Blend. I don't know if I've had that one, Chris. Sounds great though. I was actually, when I was over on Twitch earlier, I was drinking some censored. Nah, this is Orchard House, but I had a different green screen set up for that one. And of course you can get some Bourbon Bytes merch. I'm not wearing any tonight, but bourbonbytes.threadless.com for t-shirts and things like that. Thanks so much, Joe. All right. So before we get into these different regions of Scotland, Scott, by the way, we got some answers here coming. I almost missed Kyle. Kyle, what's up? It's the islands that got forgotten. Absolutely. So, yes. So we have the regions right here. Sugar Kitty Adam, Island, Highland, Speyside. I think you meant to say, no, you said Island twice. Oh, not quite, Sugar Kitty. And Campbeltown. Okay, hold on. Oh, there we go. Highland, still not, almost there. Lowland, Highland, Speyside, Islay. There you go. You guys are getting there. Zopher got it. Highland, Speyside, Lowland, Islay. Campbeltown. I was like, I read that wrong. And Island. But you are right. So those are the 6 different regions. We're trying whiskey from all 6 of those tonight. We'll talk a little bit about the differences as well. That's a good fact right there, Sugar Kitty. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. I did not know that. I did not know that the island category of Scotland are not officially recognized by the Scotch Association, which is crazy. Okay, Cohen, I'm about to check that out after. 6,700 for charity. Holy crap. Brandon says, drank too much on Saturday, waiting until tomorrow for another drink. I don't blame you. Don't blame you. By the way, let me know. Are you guys drinking any scotch tonight? Let me know. Let me know what scotch it is. And if you know what region it's from, let me know. Because we'll be going through all 6 of these tonight, but I'm curious to see what you guys have. Maybe you have multiples. But before we even get to any of those, I'm going to try something that I spilt the malted barley, y'all. Night ruined. I'm just kidding. It's just little grains. I kind of want to eat it. No, I kind of want to eat it. Maybe if Cliffy comes out by the end of the stream, we'll eat this. I'm going to move these out of the way because I'm definitely going to keep spilling these if they stay right here. What's up, Bourbon? Welcome to another episode of Scotch Bites. Well, this week, so in less than a week, it will be International Scotch Day, which is the reason for this stream. It's on a Tuesday, so I don't stream on Tuesdays. So this is the next best thing. Do it a little bit before, especially if you're preparing to do something for International Scotch Day. Maybe you'll learn a little bit something here tonight and maybe pick out a couple scotches to drink on International Scotch Day. We'll find out. But before this, there's also something else included in this box that I'm so excited about, something I've never had before. So in addition to these barley seeds, you also get a little sample of new make scotch. So this is unaged Scotch whiskey. It's a little sample. These are all pretty little samples. I think they're like probably either 0.5 ounces or 0.75 ounces. But I have never tried new make scotch. So if you guys want to get in on that, you can join the giveaway. So every $5 gets you a chance to win. Like I said, you'll win all 6 of these whiskeys as well as the new make scotch, which is something that I think a lot of people may not have tried. So I'm going to go ahead and pour a little bit in that glass. I'm very curious to see how that smells. I've never had anything like this. It's crazy. Oh, interesting. Okay. It's very similar to new make bourbon on the nose. I wasn't expecting it to be so similar. I assume this is made with 100% malted barley or 100% barley. Okay, question. This is a dummy newbie to Scotch question. Is most Scotch malted barley or unmalted barley? I'm acting like I know the answer. I don't actually know the answer. International Scotch Day was July 27th. So that Hold on. Hold on. International. Maybe I got the name wrong. Maybe it's not International Scotch Day. Wait, it's not International Scotch Day. Crap. What is it? there's a. No, wait. Hold on. Interesting, because I have another photo right here that says International Scotch Day joined the worldwide celebration February 8th. So I don't actually know. Is there 2 different International Scotch Days? Very weird. But yeah, this says February 8th. So crazy. Had no idea. I don't know. Maybe it changes year to year. I don't know. It might be July this year. They might change it every year, but I might have to change the title of it. It maybe different organizations celebrate it. It could be International US Scotch Day. I don't know. But one of them is February 8th, which is what we're celebrating today. So this is the new make. So malted barley is the answer, as Cohen says. So to be a single malt, it must be 100% malted barley. Otherwise, it would be single grain. There we go. Sir with the answer. So and Cohen as well. But yeah, I didn't realize that. So let's go and give this a taste. It smells very similar to new make bourbon. Oh, they didn't tell me that was cask strength. That's right off the still. Whoa. That was very unexpected. That is high proof. Holy crap. Well, that's even better knowing that it's cask strength. Okay. National Scotch Day is July 27th. I don't know. There is some country somewhere celebrates International Scotch Day on February 8th. Diageo posted it. Maybe it's their own thing. I don't know. I was just planning to do this anyway. So I was like, oh, that's cool. It kind of lines up. And okay. National Scotch Day is July 27th. So maybe international is February. Either way, we're still drinking scotch, no matter what. We're not changing the stream here. All right, let me go in for a second. So I was not expecting that to be so high proof. It's very, very sweet. It's sweet, but like not in a corn sweetness kind of way. It's grainy. It's definitely like kind of like gritty, not texture wise, but flavor wise. It's like fresh, but not kind of a little bit different than like a rye freshness. It's more of like a fresh, like it's like a fresh, like hay, like at a barnyard. I kind of got that. I've gotten the note on some whiskeys before, but this is like the new make has a lot of that. It has none of the like vanillas. It's got the sweetness, but it doesn't have the vanilla. That's so interesting. I'd never had new make scotch. Every day can be Scotch day. What's up, Donald Rance? Wow. Well, now I know what malted barley tastes like. Because again, this is unaged. This is just the 100% off the still malted barley. Well, now I got that. Now that my palate's a little blown a little bit by the high proof, let's go into our first Scotch region. So you can order these however you want. I'm going based on the order of this kit from the Virtual Tasting Society. If y'all are just now joining, my friend Vadim puts together these awesome tastings. virtualtastingsociety.com. It'll lead you to the Eventbrite page. Anywhere in the US, you can get a sample set shipped to you, and it's very, very affordable. They do an awesome job with those tastings. But if you want to win tonight's samples, every $5 super chat is an entry into the giveaway for all 6 of these plus the new make, which is pretty exciting. So, all right. Well, now that I know what new make Scotch tastes like, Don Nishida, nothing. You missed me trying new make Scotch. Well, that's not it. You missed me tasting new make Scotch whiskey. Never had it before. There we go. Donnie says, what is International Scotch Day? International Scotch Day falls on February 8th every year. It is a global celebration of Scotch whiskey. Okay, so National Scotch Day is in July. So let's go to our first region of Scotland. Like I said, I'm going the order of this kit, and that first region is Speyside. So let me go to my notes over here a little bit. So this one has the most distilleries on all of Scotland. They have 49 in total at the time of whatever article I plagiarized for this. Commonly, this is like Balvenie, this is Glenlivet, Macallan, Glen Grant. These are all from the Speyside region. They are basically the quintessential, like if you just think of a Scotch, this is like the default, technically, most of the time. It's usually a pretty good entry level type of Scotch. It's a lot more of the typical apple, the vanilla, the oak, those kind of like traditional lighter fruit notes. You're getting that, and you're getting a these are usually really, really light, but not light bodied, but light in flavors. So this is a good entry one if you're new to Scotch. This is actually the first Scotch I ever bought was a Speyside Scotch, and that was actually one of the one of the first Scotches I ever bought, not first tried, was Glenfiddich, and I had the Glenfiddich 14. Tonight, though, we are trying another one from their lineup. We are trying Glenfiddich 12. So that's going to be our Speyside Scotch that we're drinking today, and the one that you'll get in the sample set. Don Nishida, first of all, says, I'm glad that Clifton survived the Death Nut. Yes. If you guys missed it, last week I did a dry stream, and I did the Death Nut Challenge. That was crazy. That was definitely extreme. But I survived. I came out the other end, literally. But yeah, so if y'all missed that, that was crazy. It was a lot of fun, though. All right. We're going to our Speyside. So this is Glenfiddich 12. This is about a $25 bottle. It's only 80 proof. So like I said, very entry level. Sugar Kitty says they are typically heavy on sherry casks. So this one actually, funny enough, this one is 12 years old, and it was aged in both Oloroso sherry cask and bourbon casks. So yeah, these are going to be lighter and fruitier, I think, than a lot of these that we're going to be trying later on. So these samples, I actually don't know what size this is. What does that look like to you guys? Is it like half an ounce, maybe a little less? Might be half an ounce, but a good amount to be able to get a taste of all these different distilleries. So let's go and try the Glenfiddich 12. Never had this one. I've had the Glenfiddich 14, but not the 12. Oh yeah, it's kind of got like a little dustiness to it. It has like the oak is expressing itself in kind of like a graham cracker kind of way for me. Maybe a little bit of like nutmeg or something going on as well. So what they did with this tasting set is they actually tried to find ones that were some of the best representations of the different regions. So Glenfiddich is one of the best, like, these aren't all entry level, but this one's definitely an entry level Scotch. Again, like I said, like $25. Smells really good, but I'm excited to go and get a taste. Cheers, guys. Okay. So I will say Speyside is not my favorite region of Scotland. I'm getting it out of the way right now. To me, it's a little too one note, light, and malty. So there's a note that I've said before that I don't really love in a lot of Scotches is a malty kind of like sourness. Donnie describes it as a bile note, which I totally kind of get that too. But this one has a little bit of that. It is still very grain forward, interestingly enough. Now, this is 12 years old, which is relatively young for this kind of Scotch. Again, $25, obviously. Zover said this was his first Scotch single malt. Oh, yeah, so same here. Yeah, I'm not sure the exact size of these, but give you a little idea. So here's a comparison. Here's this compared to where's a 1 ounce sample bottle? You know what? That's got to be a half ounce. So the one on the left is 1 ounce, and there's this one. So yeah, maybe even 0.75 ounces. I can't do that based on quick first impression, but so Chris is coming up with some tasty notes for Glenfiddich. He says candy, so sweet, and interestingly enough, something a lot of distilleries come back to as it's so basic. They find a beauty in simplicity. That's really interesting. So interestingly enough, a lot of what was I? Maybe that's actually I'm getting it confused with Highlands. I'll hold off on that comment. But I do have some quotes from some people. So the ambassador of Glenfiddich actually says his favorite thing about the Speyside is the community. So I think what it seems to me like I said, the highest concentration of distilleries in Scotland is in Speyside. To me, that feels like that's the Kentucky of Scotland in terms of like distillery tours. The culture is based around the whiskey. I mean, I think to me that screams like that is the Kentucky of Scotland. Now I've never been, so if anyone's been to the Speyside region, let me know if that's true. But to me, it seems like that's what that kind of seems like. That sense of community. Everyone's chiming in. They're all passionate. There's tours. But it seems like if you were to visit Scotland for Scotch, like Scotch tours, Speyside might be the place to hit up if you like that flavor profile, of course. But yeah, this Glenfiddich, it's better than I thought. It's just got a little bit too much of that malty note that I don't love. It's just a little grainy. Oh, almost spilled it. What do you guys think? Are you guys a fan of Speyside scotches? It's just not been my favorite region in general. Very approachable though for newbies. Which I pretty much consider myself a newbie. All right, let me change glasses just in case I'm being influenced by that new make a bit. Again, I wasn't expecting it to be so high proof. Let's move on to our second region. So we've covered Speyside, the largest selection. Now the next largest is Highland. So Highland is interestingly enough, Highland Park is not made in Highland. Fun fact. So this region is interestingly about this region is it's very diverse. Not all Highland Scotches taste the same. It's one of the most diverse regions in general. There's some very more smoky kind of like sea air, like briny kind of ones. There are some fruitier ones. There's some leather ones. This one doesn't really have a flavor profile that I can tell. Now, I'm sure there is some aspect that kind of carries over a lot of time, but the thing that seems pretty obvious about Highland Scotches are these are going to be big and full-bodied. So this is going to be more of a richer mouthfeel than you would get on a Speyside. Speyside's lighter and a lot more approachable. This, though, is going to be a lot more full-bodied. So our example that I'm having tonight for Highland, and you can too if you win the sample set, is the Dalmore 12-year. So I have not had anything from them before, which is really interesting. By the way, there's over 25 Highland distilleries. They typically... Some of the other ones like Glenmorangie was another one that I don't really love that much. But I know Deanston is Highland. They do some fantastic, heavily sherried whiskeys over there. But this one I've never had. So I'm so excited to go ahead and pour this one. This one's 12 years old. So it's about $60. So same age, but a little higher, a little bit more pricey. It's also 80 proof. So let's go and try the Dalmore. This has a lot more color on it. This was also Oloroso sherry aged. For those curious, you'll find a lot of scotches either sherry aged or they are ex bourbon casks. But this one, I've heard a lot about. I love their bottles. I think a lot of people don't like them because they're lower proof, but that's the only reason they don't like them. Let's go and give it a nose. Oh wow, yeah. I think being able to smell those barley, those little pieces of barley, really changed how I experienced all of these. I think I'm pulling out the grain so much, like up front. But this one has a little bit of like a interesting. This one kind of has a. It's not going to sound appetizing, but it kind of smells like Elmer's glue. There's like a little bit of like a, maybe it's like marzipan or something like that. But it's got a little bit of like a kind of a glue smell. It's rich though. It's a little earthy. Maybe a little chocolatey as well. But I do get a little bit of that the sherry cask on this. And this one's really interesting. I'm excited to give it a try. Cheers. So there's there's a thinness to it, which I wasn't expecting as well. Um, it's a lot more flavorful, I think, than the Glenfiddich. I'll tell you right now, I prefer this over the Glenfiddich in terms of flavor. Um, it's very thin though. It's very light. It is 80 proof. Um, got a little bit of like a raisin note. There's like a raisin fruitiness there too. That's interesting. I'm seeing some comments come in. Apparently, they add a lot of coloring to their stuff, according to Chris and Cohen. Yeah, it was pretty dark. I'm not gonna lie. For a 12-year, it was pretty dark. Donashia said a few of his favorites from this region are Tamdu, Glenallachie, and Craigalachie. I don't know. Craigalachie. There we go. I knew I would get there eventually. Oh yeah, thank you so much, Emily, for dropping the link to the giveaway. Not the giveaway, the fundraiser from last night. Sugar Kitty says Dalmore is a real outlier, a taste all of its own. Yeah, that's very different. I wasn't expecting it to taste like that. It's got like a little bit of like a wet cardboard kind of note, but almost like pie crust as well. I got that kind of on both of these. Gotta go for another sip of that one. Yeah, I think it tastes better than it smells. It is malty, but not like the sour note. It's more of like the earthy quality, like the grain itself. That's actually not bad at all in the taste. Oh, Scott Pigsley's doing the larceny flight I sent him. Very cool, Scott. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Let me know which one comes out on top. Mr. Whiskey Shit says cheers. Cheers to you. I was looking at Zover's comment. Elmer's marzipan. Yeah, I was not expecting that to taste that way. John says I have an independent bottle of cast strength Dalmore that blows the regular one out of the water. Oh yeah. So Chris also says the independent bottlings of it are great. Cohen says Campbeltown is the best region by far. Well, we'll find out if I agree with you, because that is coming up here soon. We got a couple more to get through before that. Andrew Page, by the way, welcome. I like some Speyside, but it's my least favorite region. The Lowlands rank low for me, but due to some new stuff from Bladnoch, Glasgow Distillery, Daft Mill, I prefer them over Speyside. Well, funny enough, we are about to move on to Lowland Scotches. So Highland is also very popular. Not my favorite. I think as we go down this list, I'm going to find a lot more that are up my alley in terms of my favorite kinds of scotches. Like someone put some raisins in your tea. Yeah, it is kind of like a tea note. Cohen says they put some whiskey in their colorant. Yeah, I'm not a fan of people adding coloring, but I know it's common practice in a lot of these distilleries, especially the cheaper bottles. Yeah, that was a little funky. It's more interesting than the Speyside, but still not my favorite. So let's keep it rolling. As Andrew mentioned, we are about to move on to the next region, which is after Highland comes Lowland. So the funny thing is these regions aren't separated because of differences in their whiskey. They're actually separated for taxation purposes back in 1784. Basically, Lowland distilleries paid their duties according to gallons produced as opposed to the size of their stills. So Highland, it was all based on the still size and all that. Lowland was actually about the production. So as a result, many of the malts from here didn't really succeed. Most people moved up north. It was a lot easier on their taxes to go based on the still size versus their actual production. So this one is less common. These are some of the oldest distilleries in Scotland. So you're thinking things are. Yeah, I'm getting tongue tied when I'm trying to read my notes over here. These are ones that I'm not super familiar with. So Auchentoshan is the one that we're going to be drinking tonight. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Have not ever had anything from that distillery before. So this is the Lowland we're drinking tonight. We're drinking the 12-year version of that, but there's also a distillery called Glenfiddich, that is a Lowland distillery. And the interesting thing about these are really light-bodied whiskeys according to tradition. Not all of them, but a lot of these are traditionally lighter-bodied. They are usually non-peated. They're also going to be very approachable, but they're going to be very light and gentle on the palate. So I'm very curious to see if I like this. That's not something I usually love. So we'll find out tonight if that's maybe I've never just had a good Lowland. So this one is the 12-year. It's $58. It's 43% ABV. So a little bit higher proof compared to what we've been drinking on. Let's go and get that poured though. Women of Whiskey, what's up? I was just shouting out your amazing stream last night and telling people to go check it out. Donna Shea says, I've been a huge Bunnahabhain and Blair Athol kick the last year. Next time you come to Hawaii, we need to drink through some of my Scotch bottles. Absolutely, Don. I can't wait to go back. I'm hoping hoping next year I can make another Hawaii trip. We're thinking Maui, but we might be able to island hop too, depending on how much time we actually have there. So Chris says Auchentoshan has some good stuff and some terrible stuff. Well, we'll find out. So this is their 12 years. So this is $58. But I'm curious to have it. I've never had anything. I've never had a Lowland Scotch that I'm aware of. Oh, very different. Man, the first thing that comes out of that glass is kind of grass. Like not fresh cut grass, but actually like a grassy meadow. Like you like lay down in the grass. It's very light. It's got like there's no like Oloroso kind of influence on it. So I assume this is probably ex-bourbon casks. I don't know for sure. Man, that's so light on the nose. I knew it was going to be light, but I didn't know it was going to be that light. But it's got some nice like nuttiness there too. It's like very earth like I don't want to say earthy. It's not like dirt. It's not dirt earth, but it's like actual like going out and exploring the forest a bit. That's really interesting. I'm going to give it a try. Cheers. Ooh, I'm liking that little that little kick and proof, jumping up to 43%. Still very light. I do think it has a bit more of like a better mouthfeel for sure than the other ones I've had so far. And it could be the extra proof, but it does linger a bit. It's a little thicker, a little more like a honey kind of texture to it. It has a little bit of a honey taste too. It's got like some citrus on the end there as well. Still very grain forward. It's also only 12 years old. These are all very, like I said, not necessarily entry level, but approachable versions of whiskeys from these different regions. Sugar Kitty says Auchentoshan is hit or miss. Glenkinchie is a better bet. So good to know. I've never had anything from Glenkinchie, but yeah, this one is getting to be on track with what I like. It has a little bit, I don't want to say briny. It's got a little bit of like a there's like a little bit of like a saltiness, like a saline kind of like salty note, not briny, not like ocean, but like actual salt, like a salty piece of meat. Yeah, that's got a lot going for it. I think it's still not my favorite. I think once we get to these other regions, I'm going to find something that I really, really love. But it's a great way to try what whiskey. Like I said, it warned me that these are going to be lighter. They're going to be grassy. And I definitely see that in this glass. Not my favorite, but definitely so far though, compared to the other two, I think I prefer the Dalmore a little bit more. But this is a close second, I think. We still got 3 more regions to get through. By the way, since we are at the half point, just a reminder that there's a giveaway at the end of the night where you get to get all of these samples, including the new make Scotch, including the malted barley. If you have any use for this malted barley, or some peated malted barley, if you want to make your own whiskey, I'm just kidding, not enough to do that, but I do want to give this away because I think this could be educational and a good way to try new things that you haven't had before. All right, so ready to move on to the next region. Which Cohen just says Cliffy may not be in love with Campbeltown because of the musty basement note. You know what? I don't hate the musty basement note. I've gotten that note on some whiskey, some bourbons, and I actually don't like it. I mean, I don't hate it. That's what I meant to say. So we'll see. So far, all 3 are very introductory bottles. Well, that's the point. This is like an intro to Scotch. So the giveaway is definitely for more people that are interested in exploring the different regions and doing some side by sides. So moving on to the next region, as Cohen just says, that one is going to be Campbeltown. It's also one of the forgotten ones. People always forget Islands and Campbeltown. So this one was once the Victorian whiskey capital of the world, apparently, but now they only have, I believe, 3 distilleries that are open. It could have gone up. Again, this article is a little bit older that I was referencing for my notes here, but the 3 distilleries that are on this list are Springbank, Glen Scotia, and Glengyle. Glengyle. Have not heard of that one. But today, the one we are drinking for this tasting is Springbank 10-year-old. So this is the youngest one we have tonight. It's also the priciest one. This one is a $93 bottle. It's 46% ABV, and it's been matured in bourbon and sherry casks. Now this one is slightly peated. So now I can go ahead and open up my peated malted barley just to give that a little whiff before we get into it. Actually, I'm gonna pull out one of these little. See how much impact one of these little peated malted barley seeds. Yeah, it's very subtle when you're just smelling that itself. It's less of like a peaty kind of note and more of a like campfire smoke. Um, I expected it to be a little bit more of like that kind of like smoked meat kind of smell, but no, it's definitely just more of like a campfire smokiness. Hmm. Really interesting. I kind of want to eat it. I really want to eat it. I'll wait. I'll wait. All right. So this next, like I said, is Springbank 10. I have had some Springbank. Chris mentions Springbank is delicious. I know our friend Sally, who is a part of our local group, she is a huge Campbeltown fan. So I know she's let me try some Springbank before. I don't recall how it tasted. So we're about to find out tonight if I like Springbank. But again, musty basement. I don't have a problem with that. So Sugar Kitty says Springbank is one of the hardest to find these days because it gets bought out in 30 seconds. Really? Wow. Well, that explains why it's $93. So this was going to be a little bit lightly peated. In terms of Campbeltown whiskeys, they are also a bit varied. They do tend to lean more salty and smoky, but they also have a lot of the vanilla and the toffee kind of notes as well. So I'm not sure about the Springbank, but I'm very excited to see how it noses. It's lighter than I expected. I think going off of smelling the actual peated malted barley, it's a lot more subtle. I think it's got a little bit of like a there is some brininess for sure, but it's not giving too much on the nose. Let's go and give it a taste. Cheers. There's the musty basement note. Holy crap! You're right about that. When I say I've gotten it on bourbon, it's been a subtle musty basement. That was intense. That was way more intense than I expected. Was not expecting that. I don't hate it though. I still don't hate it. It has a nice finish on it. Once you get past that initial burst of that like mustiness, it kind of mellows out a bit. It has a nice like finishing briny, salty kind of sea air kind of like note. Almost reminds me of there's a note that I get on Lagavulin that has that same sea air kind of note, and I'm getting a little bit of that on this too. Apparently, this used to be $55, according to Sugar Kitty. Cohen says Springbank uses Islay peat to beat their malt. Oh, interesting. So Andrew says Springbank 10 is great, but it's hard to find now, and it's getting too expensive. When I first started drinking Scotch, it was in the $60. Yeah, basically what Sugar Kitty's saying. That's crazy. That it's jumped up so much. Yeah, I mean, if it were in the $55 range, I could see that. 90 is a bit much, but if it's hard to find, yeah. Once I'm over that initial shock of the mustiness, I actually really enjoy it. This is favorite so far, hands down. It has like there's like a jam kind of note at the end. It's definitely that sherry cask influencing it a bit. It's very sweet. It's almost like it's weird to say this. It's almost like a Pop-Tart. You know, like the Pop-Tart, like with like the cherry or the strawberry filling. Kind of get a little bit of that. That's not bad at all. That's actually my favorite so far. Very interesting. Oh, Scott Pixley has his answer key to his larceny flight. So Maker's Mark 110 beat Larceny Barrel Proof. I was curious, so that was the surprise. I threw the Maker's Mark 110 in there to throw you off, and it actually ended up being your favorite. Very interesting. And that's a very approachable, easy to find bottle. You prefer A121 to C921 and B521. Interesting. I know C921 was my favorite. But good to know, Scott. That's really interesting. I'm kind of tickled that the Maker's Mark won for you. Yeah, this is Zofer said it all sounds delicious to me. Well, Zofer, you can get your chance to win with every super chat. Not just you, but everyone else that wants to have a chance to try all 6 of these regions. We only have 2 people competing for those so far. So if you guys want a chance, pretty good odds to get your sample set. Of course, Sugar Kitty, and Don Nishida, thank y'all so much for entering so far. All right, so let's move on to the next region. I've learned that I like Campbeltown, but let's go to what I consider my favorite region of Scotland. And it might shock some people, but my favorite region of Scotland is Islay. I love overly peaty, like crazy big, bold, rich flavors. Now, I typically do like peated scotches that are more fruit forward. Like they may be like PX cask or things like that, like the Laphroaig Cargis. But we're going with the straight Laphroaig 10 as our tasting today. Islay is known, like I said, for the peated whiskey. That's kind of their thing. It's basically because most of the actual land on Islay is like malt, like this marsh, or I call it marsh is like the word I think of like in the South, but it's definitely like these like swampy lands that they actually use to get the peat to smoke the barley. So like I said, this is the peated malted barley. This one's still more smoky than I think. I think the whiskey itself takes on a lot more character from the peat than the actual barley just by itself. So Laphroaig 10 is the one we're going with for our Islay. Of course, there's other distilleries. Some of my favorites: Ardbeg, Lagavulin. There's also Bowmore. I think it's Bowmore. Bruichladdich and Bunnahabhain are also some very popular ones. Do you guys like Islay? Do you like Islay Scotches? I like Islay Scotches. What's up, Scotch Down Under? Good to see you. Good day. Yes, we are getting to the peat just in time. Tony Bag of Donuts says, Clifton, I had no idea it was International Scotch Day. Ended up drinking Ardbeg Corey Vracken and Laphroaig Casters while watching this My Bourbon podcast. Well, you're a little early. So International Scotch Day is on next Tuesday, February 8th. So I'm not actually going to be live. So I figured I would do a precursor to International Scotch Day. So if someone's new to Scotch and they want to kind of figure out what Scotches they want to gravitate towards this International Scotch Day, they have a few days to figure it out. So that was the plan tonight. But thank you so much for your super chat. You are now entered into the giveaway. So Chris says, Islay before Island. Smother your palate for the island. So that is a good point, Chris. Now I'm going based on the order that this tasting set was set up. Like I said, the one that Vadim actually donated to the stream. So I was also surprised that they did Islay before Island, but we're gonna go in the order that they presented in. So this is, like I said, Laphroaig 10. We will use a different glass though. How about this? Let's go back to this island, so that way the glass isn't going to be tainted. I can rinse my palate as well. That's a great point, Chris. Oh, Zopher wants it. Zopher wants the sample set. So Zopher, you are into the giveaway. Thank you so much for your super chat. It does help out so much here. Pronounce Bamor. Gotcha. I know I would be bad for the pronunciations. So make sure I'm caught up down here. Don't want to miss any super chats. It's like cutting off part of the chat. That's annoying. There we go. It's still cutting it off. Oh well, y'all can't see. That's a me problem. All right, so our Islay is Laphroaig 10. So this one is a $44 basically, 43% ABV. So have not had Laphroaig 10, believe it or not. I've had some more premium Laphroaigs, but I have not had the standard Laphroaig. So this will be really interesting. And again, you don't want to, like, for a sample set like this, you wouldn't want like one of the finished Laphroaigs. I feel like that's kind of unfair. You want to really experience the actual typical Islay notes, which are going to be those dark, briny, maybe like a little bit of like a seaweed kind of note as well. But they do have some lighter notes as well. Sometimes there's some apple there. There's definitely some plum with like the more finished ones. But my favorite note is like a smoked meat kind of note. So we'll see. I think Laphroaig has a little bit of that. It's a little iodine-y, I think, but let's see how it is. Triala? Is that pronounced right? Triala says, woot, peat. Well, I'm excited. I'm a big peat fan, so let's go ahead and get into this Laphroaig 10. Thank you so much for your super chat. You are entered into the giveaway. Yes, check out Ken's channel. He's awesome. All right, so Islay Scotch whiskey. Cheers, guys. On the nose, there is a little bit of like it's not necessarily the same musty basement kind of note, but there is a little bit of like a dry kind of. There's certain like dryness, almost like a you know what kind of smells like? Not chlorine, but kind of like being near a chlorine pool. Like you're kind of sitting by the pool. You might be at the beach. There's a little bit of like the ocean air in there as well. But I haven't had regular Laphroaig 10, so let's see how it is. Cheers. I still get that though. Now this, I will say, okay, that dissipates a bit. At first, it kind of is very like being near a chlorinated pool. It's a little chemically. By the mid palate, though, it kind of switches gears and it goes a little more towards the salty, briny kind of notes. Definitely lingers with that salt. It's not the smoked meat note that I get on like an Ardbeg, which is interesting. I love that note more so than I'm loving this note. But I think this is definitely a good idea of what peat actually does to a whiskey. Cohen says Port Charlotte 10 for 60 is the best of the Islay 10s. I am a Port Charlotte fan as well. I think I lean towards Ardbeg, but to be fair, I have not had regular Ardbeg 10 in years. So it would be interesting to do like Laphroaig, Ardbeg, Port Charlotte, all three of those, like the 10-year editions, and compare them side by side. But this one's, it kind of threw me off a bit at the beginning, but that's actually really, I need another sip of that one. Yeah. Less chemically on second sip, still very salty. It's very salty, very, it's not as offensive as I thought it would be. Honestly, I did not, up until like recently, I thought I did not like Laphroaig at all. I'm learning that I do actually like Laphroaig. I don't love this expression of it. I think it does better when it's combined with some fruitiness, like the port cask finish or the PX cask. Some of the Cargis releases are fantastic. On its own, it's okay. It's definitely the region I like of Scotland. It's just not necessarily this expression is my favorite. So, that's interesting though. I'm glad to have tried it. I haven't had the regular Laphroaig 10. I see Lil say, let's see if he notices. Who are we talking about? What did I miss? What did I miss? What I miss? Ah, well. Let me know what I missed. If I missed the super chat or something. Don't forget that Scotch Down Under's charity stream for prostate cancer. Man, can you down under? Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Actually, Scott, let us know when that is. Or not Scott. I'm thinking Scotch. Ken, let us know when that fundraiser is. Definitely want to tune into that. Laphroaig is more medicinal than any other. Chris says Laphroaig is my least favorite Islay, but I still enjoy it. That's kind of how I'm feeling. It's not my favorite thing. But it's actually, yeah, I love the Islay smokiness. Give me even more peat. I will say I can handle way more peat than this. This Laphroaig is it's peaty, but I've had much more intense peat ones, especially recently too. But again, as an approachable entry level to peat, it's not bad at all. It's definitely not as off-putting as someone. Like, I was introduced to peat by giving Auchentoshan, thanks to Chris Kilrain and his comrades. Auchentoshan was one of my first peated whiskeys that I ever had. But I loved it. I actually loved it. I was like, you know what? I do not hate this. Don't dive in that unless you want to be completely blown away, but in a good way. But Saturday night at 11 p.m. Eastern time. Awesome. I actually don't know what my plans are for Saturday, but hopefully I can tune into that. I respect Laphroaig, but not really a fan of it in general because it's too medicinal. Brady says a few guys in our local group want to have a Scotch intervention with me. Well, that's what they did with me, and it worked. So, give it a shot. Don't be afraid. All right. So, time to move on to our final Scotch of the night. This is another region that is often forgotten about. It's a region that I actually didn't consider a region of Scotland because I just didn't know about it. That is the islands. So, surrounding the coast of the mainland of Scotland, there are over 800 islands off the coast. Now, most of these are uninhabitable, but there are quite a few that actually not only are inhabited, but they actually have distilleries. So Scotch produced here is, of course, very diverse. It's not all the same flavor profile, similar to kind of like the Highlands and Lowlands earlier. But they are, the most interesting thing is these are not recognized by the Scotch Whisky Association. So they're not grouped together as individual, like a region. They're basically just treated as their own individual island, which is kind of interesting. So the one we're going to be doing, some of these that are more popular are Highland Park and Talisker. Talisker is actually that largest island distillery. However, the one that we're trying tonight is a new one to me. That is Jura Superstition. So this is a $49-ish bottle, 43%. I don't know. It's non-age dated. I know there are some age dated releases. This one is non-age dated. I've never had this one. I don't know if it's still made. I had trouble finding it on Total Wine's website. This one may be discontinued. But I've never had it. I don't know what the flavor profile is going to be like. I've never had an island whiskey. I've had some other than Highland Park. I have had Highland Park. Actually, I've had Talisker too. I've never had a Jura whiskey. So, like I said, these are all so different. So I'm very curious to see what this flavor profile is. Aaron as well. That's a good one too. Yeah, I am a fan of Aaron. I like a lot of their. They have some sherry bombs that I do like. They're grouped together with the Highlands. Interesting. Bruichladdich is the most of. Oh, that was about Islay. Okay. So Superstition is discontinued. So hey, if you win the sample set today, you get a discontinued Scotch. You can compare it to the age data ones, but this one is Superstition. It was around $49 when it was available. So let me switch glasses because I don't want to be influenced by the peatiness of this. So we're going back to our glass. Now, there's a chance this could be a little peaty. I don't know. I've never had it. No idea what Jura is going to taste like, but I'm excited to try it. Superstition is lightly peated, says Cohen. Good to know. Still want to switch glasses just in case. All right. So color-wise, it's pretty dark. It's one of the darkest ones, I think. Now, I don't know if they've added color. They could have. Ooh, I like that nose. Oh, that's a really nice nose. That smells expensive. There's a certain note that I get on, like, usually with the bourbons that I always call like a limited edition kind of note. But yeah, this has that. It smells really good. It smells well aged. Now I don't know the age on this one, but it just smells super balanced. Let's go and give it a try. Cheers. Smells better than it tastes. I'll say this. This is more, if you like the more Highland style whiskeys, this one's probably going to be more up your alley. Yes, it is a little bit salty. It has a little bit of the brightness, maybe similar to Campbeltown. Honestly, it's kind of similar. Yeah, it's like a cross between like Highland and Campbeltown, like right in the middle is how this tastes to me right now. I am getting a little bit of the saltiness and the smokiness. So Jura is apparently next to Islay geographically, but doesn't taste like, yeah, this doesn't taste Islay at all. Yeah, Chris, I was not expecting this to taste the way it did. I was very confused. Smash that like button. Yes, please do. Seriously, I know this is like, I'm trying to learn along the way. Like this is becoming less of an educational stream and more of like educate Cliffy stream, but I wanted to do it for the occasion. Oh, of course I did have the latest demo. I actually played through it last night, and I have not even explored much that it has to explore. I mostly went around the second class. For those of you who don't know, Titanic Honor and Glory is a video game / project that's recreating the Titanic in a video game world. And there's a new update that just came out that's like 30% of the ship's explorable. Have not fully explored it yet. I might do that on Twitch. We'll see. If y'all want to see that on Twitch, let me know. Yeah, Jura, I'm confused. It's very sweet. There's a mid palate that kind of reminds me of like a juicy like pear. It's really fascinating. I'm almost, what's reminding me the most of? This censored bottle right here, this Compass Box Orchard House that I was drinking earlier on Twitch. I don't know if it has any Jura in it though. It doesn't actually say. It doesn't say on the bottle. I don't know. It probably says on the website if they do or not. But it has a similar like pear note to it. What's up, Donner Pass? Good to see you. Yeah, I was kind of not let down by that. It's just not my favorite flavor profile. I guess I didn't know what I was expecting with Islay. I'd never had an Islay whiskey. Or let me rephrase. I have had an Islay whiskey. I've just never had one knowing that it's an island, not part of the main regions. I still have a lot to learn, as you can tell from this stream. But if you want to learn along with me, now is your last chance to be entered into the giveaway to win a sample set of all 6 of these regions of Scotland. I learned a lot today. I learned that Islay is still my favorite region. I will say my second favorite. I'm trying to think what would be my second favorite of these. Islay's my favorite. I think honestly, Campbeltown. Campbeltown was my second today. It was more interesting. I didn't necessarily. I was a little surprised by that, like that musty kind of note. But once I got past that, I could really find some fantastic flavors of the Campbeltown. But I'm curious, what is y'all's favorite region of Scotland? Let me know in the chat. We'll go through that. Like I said, last chance for the giveaway if anyone wants to get in. Otherwise, we're going to spin the wheel of whiskey here soon. As a reminder from Joe, give y'all like a minute or two left, just in case y'all want to. Yeah, Brandon. So apparently Bevmo had a flash sale today that I completely missed out on, and all my local group got something fancy, got something special because people got some handies, some people got some Van Winkles, and I had my Do Not Disturb on, so I completely missed the flash sale. So that's how my day is going so far. How y'all doing? I'm Ron Burgundy. Okay, well, Scott Pigsley's in for another chance at the giveaway. Springbank was definitely the best quality of what you had. I think that's the thing. These are all pretty entry level. I do think that the Springbank was $93 and obviously showed with quality there. But yeah, I was not expecting the Jura to not be as good. Chris said he didn't get anything from either. Oh, okay, well, I'm not alone, but sucks for us. Hey, Chris, if you find another flash sale, hit me up. Let's get it first. Sharing is caring. Thanks, Brandon. Campbelltown is Cohen's favorite. Yeah, Campbelltown was a close second for me. I think the Islay has always been my favorite. It's always been the one that I was gravitate towards with Scotch, but Campbelltown surprised me. I'm gonna have to try more of that. I may have to hit up our friend Sally. What about the rest of you guys? What is your favorite region? Now I'm definitely gonna eat one of these. Let me eat the peated malted barley. Wait, is that the peated one? I don't really smell the peat anymore. Let me pour another one. By the way, whoever wins these samples, I do not encourage eating these. Wait, I don't hate that. That kind of tastes good. Why did that taste good? It was kind of like a... Oh, wow. That was good. It was kind of like a sunflower seed. Let me try the regular one. Let me try the unpeated one. Now I'm very curious. Let me try the regular malted barley. Death of Barley Challenge. That one's okay. That one's just more like oatmeal. That was kind of weird. The peated malted barley grain tastes really good. I could snack on that. I probably shouldn't. Probably could completely like mess up my bowels, but that was really surprisingly. Barley soup. We guess I'll have to try that. You know what? But before I choke on a piece of barley, let me go ahead and... All right, Cohen, I'm going to have to... I'll take your word for it, Cohen. I'll pick up one of those after the stream. Donnie Pass says, love Campbelltown. Unfortunately, so does everyone else, and their production is limited because of the old school integrity production methods. It's kind of like Hazelburn. Never had Hazelburn. Perfectly snackable. Okay, so I'm not going to die, hopefully. So, all right, the giveaway is closed. We're about to spin the wheel of whiskey to find out who gets this next sample set. I'm eating another pita one. Okay, that one was a little more like grainy. Scott, I got all super chats. I'm sorry if I missed it. Yep, I got it. It will be included. It really would be the death challenge. I know. I thought the death nut was bad. Wait till the death barley. All right. I do have all super chats here. Let me go ahead and enter those into the wheel of whiskey. Thank y'all to everyone that donated today, as well as thank you to all my amazing patrons who I hope to see on the after party hangout. I see that Brandon messaged me, but my phone was on silent. I turned on Do Not Disturb again, okay? All right. So, y'all ready for the wheel of whiskey? I think y'all are. Let me go ahead and get these entered in. VIP triple. All right, Cohen. This is for myself. This is my future self. Thank you for that. I have the email too. All right, wheel of whiskey. Let's get the names entered here. And then the amazing people that put in multiple entries. I got to make sure all your entries are counted. And another one for Sugar Kitty. I'm kind of talking to myself here. And then Don Nishida with freaking 4 entries. Hashtag Don I never win. All right. There we go. So I think we have our wheel of whiskey ready to go. Tony says, I thought Speyside was my favorite, but now I'm pretty sure it's Islay. See, I think Islay is just so interesting, especially as bourbon drinkers, right? We like the big, bold, rich flavors. Islay's definitely that. Hazelburn is made by Springbank. Let's make Longrow. Man, I know Longrow was what they said was in the compass box, but that's all I know. I know very little. All right. Y'all ready for the wheel of whiskey? Let's get the camera screen shared here. The winner of this gets the sample set, including the new make Scotch, which I think is the coolest thing. I didn't even know you could try that. So let's pull that up for you guys. Should be Don I never win when I'm in the chat. I know, right? All right. So we got the wheel of whiskey here. Everyone that's super chatted here today got an entry. Again, thank y'all so much. Let's find out who wins the intro to Scotch whiskey regions set. Cheers, guys. Wheel of whiskey. Come on, let's see who pulls out ahead today. Oh, it's close. It's close, but it looks like the win goes to Sugar Kitty. Congratulations, Sugar Kitty. Thank you for being a supporter. I mean, thank all of y'all for being supporters of the channel. But Sugar Kitty, I feel like it's been a minute since you've won anything, so I'm so excited for you. Thank you so much for entering, and thank you to everyone that entered, and thank you to everyone that tuned in tonight. I know this was a bit different. I know Y'all want me to get back to bourbon, I'm sure. Don't worry. Coming up soon, we're going to be doing another American whiskey stream. I don't have my plan for next week yet, but it's most likely going to be American whiskey. So please don't unsubscribe. But if you do want to see more interesting things like this, where we venture outside of our comfort zone, let me know by leaving a like. And if you're watching the replay, let me know in the comments below what your favorite region of Scotland is. Or if you guys are watching this live, as soon as the video ends, leave a comment down below of your favorite region of Scotland. How about that? That'll help with the YouTube algorithm, and it would help me out a lot. So before you jump on the after party hangout, which is patrons, if you are a patron and you want to join the after party hangout, make sure to leave a comment down below what your favorite region of Scotland is. But until next time, this has been Bourbon Bytes whiskey reviews with a Scotch twist tonight, but sometimes a gaming twist too. All right, cheers, y'all. I'll see you next stream. I might go live on Saturday. I'll keep you updated. Keep an eye on Discord. We'll find out what we do. All right, cheers, y'all. Bye.